What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I've got some very cool battles running two of the new legendary Galarian birds, and unfortunately I don't have the Galarian Zapdos yet, so instead of that I'm going to be running the Galarian Sirfetch'd, so also a Galarian Pokemon, also technically a bird, and it does have access to the exact same moves as the Galarian Zapdos, although in this case I'm going to be running Leaf Blade instead of Close Combat, as that is the preferred moveset on the Sirfetch'd. So I was super lucky to encounter the Galarian Articuno, and I did it at a really low CP, so the catch rate was much better for me than for a lot of people. The Articuno was below 150 CP and I managed to get an excellent curveball throw, and I caught it on the first ball, which is really cool. And then also just a few minutes later I encountered the Galarian Moltres, and it was only 200 CP, although I did kind of stuff up the throw and I wasn't able to catch it. But my friend was able to catch a Galarian Moltres, and they figured, you know what, you make content, you might as well have it, I'm not going to do anything with it, and I'm very grateful for them. But yeah, I'm going to be running them two together with the Sirfetch'd in the lead. I'm going to own up and say now that this team was not very good. I think I might have even lost slightly more games than I won, but there are some very cool games in here, and as well I did misplay quite a few games, so you will see a few of those as well. But with that being said, let's get into the question of the day. What's the rarest Pokemon you've ever caught in Pokemon Go? Whether it's a legendary Galarian bird or a 100% wild shiny, or I don't know, something else, just let me know in the comment section below. And with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle here, we lead into a Registeel, so this is where we want to see it on the team. They come in with a Medicham, and I'm actually going to go for the Brave Bird first, and then switch into the Articuno, as we do double resist the counters because of the Psychic and Flying typing. Now I'm really hoping that they're not running Ice Punch, because that will make it a lot easier, and they're not, they're running Psychic, they go straight for it, so I'm going to go for the Brave Bird here, and this should be taking out the Medicham. And boom, we take them out, and now I expect the Registeel to come back in, but we are still loaded on energy. We're going to get to a Brave Bird here just before they can get to a charge move and take us out. We land it, it does a lot of damage, it does about 35-40% damage to a Registeel even though it's resisted. We land the second one, and now I switch into the Sirfetch'd. I'm able to counter snipe them down and then go for another Brave Bird here up against the Trevenant. This gets the final shield, and now I can come in with the Galarian Moltres. We do resist everything that Trevenant can throw, so we're in a really good position here. They go straight for the Shadow Ball. It does a decent amount of damage even though it's resisted. I'm going to safely shield this up, go for one more Brave Bird, and this will easily be enough to take out the Trevenant. And we take that game. So the first game there, we actually went straight Brave Bird with every single Pokemon and were able to take that game, so really cool there. Into the next game, we lead into a Jellicent. So this is a fairly neutral matchup. Our counters are double resisted, but Leaf Blade is such a good move that Jellicent will likely shield the first one. And now I'm expecting them to go for a Bubble Beam bait, but just to be sure, I'm going to switch into the Moltres here. They do bait me with the Bubble Beam. They come in with Nidoqueen. They're going straight for the Poison Fang, so I'm not going to shield this, and I'm actually going to go for the Brave Bird straight away because I want to debuff my defense, because I don't think I'm going to get to another charge move anyway, so I might as well minimize the amount of Poison Jab farm they get up against the Moltres there. So I'm waiting out the switch clock. I'm going to come in with Articuno here, and I am going to let this go through. Hopefully not a Stone Edge, and it wasn't, so that's perfectly fine. I'm able to Psycho Cut, farm them down, instantly switch into the Sirfetch'd. They come in with a Scrafty. I'm going to CMP tie here with the Power Up Punch, and they do not shield the Leaf Blade, so I'm going to shield this up, and I should be able to counter farm down the Scrafty. And I'm going to go for the Leaf Blade straight away. I think the Jellicent has a move stored, but they don't throw straight away, which is smart by them. They won't win CMP, and now they can go for a move here. I have to call the bait, and it is just a Bubble Beam, which is perfect. I'm going for the Ancient Power here. We don't want to debuff our defense yet, and Ancient Power could give us the boost, but it doesn't. They go for another Bubble Beam here, and now it's a race to the charge move. Who is going to get there first? We're just able to get to the Brave Bird. It's double debuff now, but will it KO? Yes, it will, and we're able to take out the Jellicent and take that game. So GG's to my opponent there. Super close game. Into the next game, we lead into a Medicham. Now we're going to switch straight away into the Articuno here, and unfortunately we're met with a Shadow Wall Rain. Can we tank an Icicle Spear? No, we can't, and we are in a really bad position here. But the good thing here is that this Wall Rain is a shadow, so we will be able to shield once and then completely counter farm them down, and we can go for a Brave Bird up against this Medicham when it comes back in, which I'm sure it will. They come back in with the Medicham, we go straight for the Brave Bird. Is my opponent gonna shield it up? No. Boom, we take him out. I switch into the Moltres, and they have a Talonflame here, so usually this would be a battle of the fire flying types, but this is Galarian Moltres, so we drop the fire typing for the dark typing, but we still have ancient power. This will take out the Talonflame or do huge super effective damage. We're going to shield this up, and we can get to one more ancient power after one wing attack here. We go for it here. This will get the final shield, and then it's going to be a race to the next charge move. Come in with Sirfetch'd, and we get to the Brave Bird on the CMP tie, and this is going to be enough to take out the Talonflame. Boom, we take him out, and we take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we lead into another Medicham, and I think this is one of my earlier battles, so I stayed in. What I really should do is switch out straight away. I thought maybe I'll try catch the Psychic or something, but Medicham's just going to go straight Power Up Punch if they've got it. I go for the Brave Bird. This will get a shield. Now I switch into the Articuno. I'm met with a Bastiodon, so I really needed to get that switch done earlier, so I still had some health on my Sirfetch'd, and I would be able to counter farm down this Bastiodon, but unfortunately I'm not going to be able to now because I am so low on that Sirfetch'd. I go for the Brave Bird here. It does absolutely nothing. I get a counter through. I have to shield this, and I'm just hoping I can do enough counter damage with this Leaf Blade here to nearly take out the Bastiodon. But the Leaf Blade doesn't do enough, and my opponent snipes me with the Medicham, and this is pretty much GG's right here. All I can do is no shield these first couple of power punches, and hopefully they're going to shield an ancient power, and maybe I'll get a boost. That's pretty much the only win condition right here. So we go for the ancient power. Is my opponent going to shield? No, and we just quit there, and I cut that really short, so apologies for that. But into the next game, we go into a Swampert. My opponent tries to catch a move, and I'm refunded with my energy, so the game really working in my favor here. That should not happen, and I should have thrown the Leaf Blade, so unfortunate for my opponent, but sometimes that happens. They're running Drapion with the Sludge Bomb instead of the Aquatail, so it does quite a lot of damage, and it will be threatening. So we go straight for the Brave Bird, we take him out, and we're going to see what my opponent comes in with. They come in with the Swampert, and they have farmed up to the back-to-back Hydro Cannons. Gonna throw the first one here, taking out my Moltres. I come in with the Sirfetch'd. Unfortunately, I'm not able to get a counter through, so that somewhat counters the fact that or that I got the refund there, but not really. I'm gonna no shield the Sky Attack. Articuno is very glassy compared to the regular Kanto version. We go for an ancient power, we get a shield from my opponent, and I'm just barely able to get to the Brave Bird. This is going to do huge damage to the Skarmory, even resisted, and now we might even be able to counter farm down the Skarmory and leave with a ton of energy. And we are able to. We have the Leaf Blade loaded. I could have gone for a Brave Bird there, but I just played it safe, went for Leaf Blade, and we take out a Swampert and take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we lead Sirfetch'd into Stunfisk, so this is a good lead for us. They switch into a Pelipper, so I don't have the best response here, so I'm going to throw my move straight away and then eventually switch into the Galarian Moltres here, and we should be able to tank a Hurricane or two Weather Balls. I think we should anyway, so we're going to tank the first one, and they're going to get to another one, but we should be able to take this, and then we did get the Wing Attack through, so we can farm down the Pelipper. They come in with the Stunfisk, so I'm just going to go for the move straight away. I'm not going to get to another Brave Bird, so I'm going to debuff my defense, meaning that they get less farm, but they still get a decent amount. They switch into a Trevenant, so unfortunately Trevenant does beat both my remaining Pokemon, so perhaps I should have gone into the Articuno up against the Pelipper. but I just didn't read the team composition very well, and unfortunately this Ancient Power doesn't get a shield, my opponent doesn't panic, and they are in the driving position here. I shield a Seed Bomb, but in all honesty, this next one, even though it's resisted, will put me into farm down range before I can get to another move, and that is gonna be game over here. Unfortunately, there's just nothing I can do, and my opponent played really well there, so GG's to them. But yeah, didn't read the team composition very well, and unfortunately I lose. So into the next game, we lead into a Cofagrigus. We're going to go straight for a Leaf Blade. My opponent might expect a Night Slash, so maybe they'll shield, but they probably won't. Cofagrigus is fairly tanky. We switch there, trying to catch a move. They switch into the Azumarill here, so I'm going to go for a Brave Bird. And unfortunately I did lag one turn there, so this is going to be a CMP tie, which it shouldn't have been, but I'm going to shield this up, and they should be in range where an Ancient Power is going to be threatening, well, not quite, but I do expect my opponent to shield this up, and they do shield it up, which is perfectly fine. And now I'm just going to let this go through. Ice Beam takes me out. I get the farm down on the Azumarill, and now I have a charge move loaded, and I'm going to win CMP up against the Cofagrigus. And my opponent's going to go for the move here, and hopefully I can outpace them to the next charge move. And I'm just barely able to get there. That is another CMP tie, so that is perfect. We take out the Cofagrigus. They have a Registeel in the back, so we're going to go for a Leaf Blade here and then switch out into the Articuno, forcing my opponent to throw the energy from the Registeel. And now Articuno, unfortunately, you didn't really get the chance to shine in this battle. Zap Cannon takes us out, but that was worth it because I'm now able to get to another charge move on the Sirfetch'd, and I take out the Registeel to take that game. Okay, that was a bit of a weird cropping there, but I guess I just lost that previous battle. But into the next game, we lead into another Medicham, so a pretty common lead that I saw so far. And yeah, the same thing here. I stayed in for a while, and eventually I switch into the Articuno. Hopefully they don't have Ice Punch, but they do, and that does so much damage to Articuno. Articuno isn't very tanky. We're going to go for the Brave Bird straight away. We get a shield from my opponent. It's actually a CMP tie, so well timed there. And now we're going to be able to get to one more Brave Bird before we go down. I expect to get the final shield from my opponent, but I would rather take them out here. And we do get the shield there, but yeah, unfortunately that is not great. I'm going to come in with the Moltres, most likely. Actually, no, I come in with the Sirfetch'd. I try to catch the Psychic, but my opponent baits me with the Ice Punch. I should have known. Sirfetch'd is so glassy that you don't even need to go for the super effective charge moves to get a shield, and my opponent realizes that. I go for the Brave Bird here up against the Diggersby, and now I'm recognizing that it's going to be the Noctowl in the back because a few content creators, Homeslice Henry, Rise to the Occasion, have both made videos on this team and done really well with it. But yeah, there's not much I can do here. I'm going to shield this, farm down the Diggersby, and hopefully I can get to a Brave Bird and a Leaf Blade up against the Noctowl. They come in with the Medicham. I can't afford to take any counter damage, so I take them out, and now I'm going to farm up as much energy as possible, but it just doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get to two moves. Brave Bird lands, but it's just not enough to take out the Noctowl, and they're able to wing attack, farm me down, and take that game. So GG's to them. Into the next game, we lead into a Azumarill, and this is actually a decent lead for us. And I have some weird thing on the screen right now, but I'm going straight for the Brave Bird. And boom, we take out the Sableye, and now we're in a really good position because I realized it was going to be a double Ghost team, and the Articuno doesn't really want to face the Ghost types, so I couldn't switch into the Moltres straight away. I needed to save it for the second Ghost type, but now we have the perfect alignment that I wanted, and I can tank whatever move this is from the Trevenant, and I will be able to get to another Ancient Power, and with a couple more wing attacks, this will take out the Trevenant, and now we're in a really good position. They come in with the Azumarill, bubble me down. I'm actually going to come in with the Articuno here, throw a Brave Bird. My opponent still hasn't thrown their energy, so I'm just going to land this Brave Bird. It does huge damage to the Azumarill, and at this point we can just 2-shield and counter down the Azumarill, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. We shield the first one, and we're going to shield the second one, and a couple more counters, and we will be taking out the Azumarill, and we take that game. So into the next battle, we lead Sirfetch'd into a Shadow Alola Marowak, so not the best lead. If we had Night Slash, it would be slightly better, but my opponent switches into an Azumarill here, so I'm thinking that they probably have, like, I don't know, another Ghost type and it's just a weird order, or maybe they have a Medicham in the back, because I think Psionic posted that team. I go for an Undercharge and I massively misplay here, because they're able to get to a charge move and I don't want to burn a shield there. And now I might have just thrown away this game, because my opponent is going to be coming in with a Tapu Fini, so it's actually the complete reverse of the Azu double Ghost, because they're running Ghost double Azu essentially with the Tapu Fini here. They go for a Moonblast, I shield it up, they come in with the Alola Marowak, I'm going for an Ancient Power. It is super effective, but it won't do too much damage, even though they are Shadow and we're pretty attack weighted. I'm calling a bait, and unfortunately it's a Shadow Bone, and now there's not a lot we can do here. Hopefully we can get an Ancient Power boost, but we're not able to. My opponent gets to a charge move. Once again, I'm just going to call that it's a Bone Club bait. Shadow Bone is resisted, but it lowers my defense, and they're going to be able to Fire Spin, farm me down, and take that game. So I misplayed that game there, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Into the next game, we lead into a Stunfisk. They switch into Trevenant. Now this is perfect. We come in with the Galarian Moltres and we hard wall this thing because of our typing. We're going to go for an Ancient Power here just before they get to the next charge move. And we do get a shield from my opponent, so they're going to throw another move here. It's probably just going to be a Seed Bomb this time. It is, and now I'm going to go for an Ancient Power. This will get the final shield, or probably take out the Trevenant. We do get the final shield, which is fine, and now my opponent gets to one more charge move, and actually they've taken me very low, so that's kind of crazy, but I'm able to take out the Trevenant there, and I will get to a Brave Bird up against an Azumarill, so this is perfect, as they don't resist this move, and now I can come in with the Articuno here and just absorb whatever charge move Azumarill throws, and then I'm going to switch into the Sirfetch'd here. So they throw a move, I'm going to instantly swap out into the Sirfetch'd. We will outpace them to the Leaf Blade here, so I'm actually going to go for a CMP tie, or no, just one turn before they throw. We take out the Azumarill, and now they come in with the Stunfisk, and you know what, let's just go for the Brave Bird. We might as well. This is a triple Brave Bird team. It does a lot of damage. Maybe Leaf Blade would have been better, but I don't care. They go for the Earthquake, they take us out, and I'm able to get to another Brave Bird here with the Articuno, and this will take out the Galarian Stunfisk, and we're able to take that game. So into the final battle, we lead into an Altaria, so this is not good for us. I switch into the Galarian Moltres. They come in with a Swampert, and this isn't actually too bad. We should be able to get a shield advantage from the Swampert, so I'm going to go for the Brave Bird after 3 wing attacks, so one before they get to the second Hydro Cannon. We get the shield from the Swampert, and now my opponent is going to throw one before I get to the move. I'm actually going to shield this up, and once again I'm going to throw straight away here, as they are one away from the Hydro Cannon. We get both shields from the Swampert, which is what I wanted, but they farmed up a ton of extra energy, so that is not the most ideal thing ever. Now I'm going to come in with the Sirfetch'd here. I'm hoping that I can just counter farm them down before they get to 2 moves. They actually go for a Sludge Wave, so that's perfect. I can counter them down. I go for a Brave Bird up against this Altaria. This will do huge damage. I'm going to switch into the Articuno. They come in with a Jellicent, so unfortunately not a good matchup. I'm hoping that Brave Bird will put them into counter farm down range. It does huge damage, but I'm not sure if we're going to be able to counter farm them down. They go straight for the Shadow Ball. Can we counter them down? It doesn't look like it, so we have to throw the Leaf Blade here before they get to another Shadow Ball. We take out the Jellicent, but unfortunately the Altaria gets to a charge move, and we're going to be losing this game. So GG's to that opponent, really well played. Unfortunately, we just weren't quite able to counter them down, and we lose that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, then make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. As for the Galarian birds, I just don't think they're too good, but they are super rare, so I just had to showcase them, especially given that I have access to 2 of them. Unfortunately, I think the Galarian Zapdos is the best of the 3, as it does have a better coverage move in close combat. Otherwise, Brave Bird is an extremely good charge move, but Ancient Power just doesn't do it for them, unfortunately. Really weak. Of course, if you do get that boost, then you're going to go on a rampage, but I think once again I only got an Ancient Power boost just before I fainted in one of my battles, so yeah, not the best ever. But if you did enjoy it, then once again do make sure you leave a like. And with that being said, let's get into the shoutouts from my previous video. So firstly, we've got Seifel and Niranjan Patil, who both said Obstagoon with Hyper Beam. That is a really cool moveset, and if your opponent isn't expecting it, then you're going to get a ton of booms with the Hyper Beam. So really cool moveset on a meta Pokemon. Next, we've got BDR Revolution Pogo, who says Shadow Venusaur with Solar Beam. Maybe that's one for me to try in a future video, so let me know if you'd like to see that. And finally, we've got Yogesh Sharma once again, who says Pelipper with Hydro Pump and Blizzard. And I can imagine the booms would be so satisfying, but of course, if it gets shielded, then that is going to be really disappointing. So very risky moveset there, but very cool. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.